for Doctor of Philosophy. So I feel a responsibility sometimes to philosophize. Okay, fat use after exercise. We talked about this earlier. Aerobic exercise increases the mitochondrial content, so you have a greater capacity to burn fat. This steering and fuel use to a greater reliance on fat both at rest and the same exercise intensity, one of the hallmark adaptations to aerobic or endurance training. You really make the muscles become better fat-burning machines, and you steer fuel use to a greater reliance on fat and less on carbohydrate. Yeah?
Interval training going into anaerobic recovery zones, benefits for calories and burning calories.
Yes, we're going to get to that too.
Okay.
Well, you're all over this.
Sorry.
We're going to get to everything you're saying. Strength training causes a higher rate of fat use post-exercise. So that's a good thing about strength training versus the cardio. Cardio, you can also do this if it's an intense, like if it's an interval training workout. But because strength training in its nature is more intense, then you'll use more fat during post-workout while you're trying to recover from the workout. Okay, so let's look at some of the weight loss research. We'll start with interventions. What kind of interventions has the research shown is effective for weight loss? Bill Kramer. Here's another study by Bill Kramer. 35 overweight men assigned to control group, diet-only group, diet plus aerobic exercise. So this may have been the same, this was the same one that we saw before. So all three intervention groups had significant reductions in body mass. I color-coded this. So the diet-only group, 21 pounds they lost. The diet plus aerobic exercise group, almost same amount, 20 pounds. And the group that did it all three, 21 pounds. So they're all losing about the same amount of weight. But look at the difference in fat mass. In the group that just dieted, 69% of their fat mass was lost, 78% for the diet plus aerobic exercise, and 97% for the group that did everything. So the groups that are doing everything, they're burning more calories, and even though they're all losing about the same amount of weight, there's big differences in how much of that weight is fat that they're losing. And the diet group significantly reduced their fat-free mass. And again, we've seen that many times before. The group that's only dieting is also losing muscle mass. The rest of the metabolic rate changed only for the diet plus aerobic exercise group. And they also looked at VO2 max. It increased for diet plus aerobic exercise and the group that did everything, but not by as much. And so we see that as a little side note. This has nothing to do with this, but you often see that too, that when you strength train and do aerobic exercise, the aerobic work detracts a little bit from the strength training performance, and the strength work detracts a little bit from the aerobic performance. So this gets into, I think at this conference maybe even a few years ago, I did a whole talk on periodization. And so really the best way to do strength training and aerobic exercise at the same time is to periodize it. So it's some times of the year you're focusing on the strength training component, other times of the year you're focused on the cardio. But to try to stimulate both of those things at the same time, probably not the best way to do it. If you're looking at performance, if you want to maximize aerobic performance or maximize strength performance, it's better to periodize and cycle to train throughout the year. Okay, this study did what's called a meta-analysis. A meta-analysis is a higher level of analysis. So they took all the studies that met the criteria of looking at studies that had obese adults of greater than 18 years old with a body mass index of more than 25. They went and reviewed all those studies, and then they do a statistical procedure on those study statistics. So it's a higher level of statistics. It's statistics on everyone else's studies. So researchers will use this meta-analysis often to draw conclusions about the research. It's a very powerful research tool. So they found that diet plus aerobic exercise compared to diet alone produced a 31% greater initial weight loss. If they take all the studies together, then this is what they find. 28 pounds versus 21 pounds, and a 48% greater sustained weight loss after a year, 14.7 versus 9.9. So what's one conclusion we can draw from this? Diet plus exercise is better to lose weight than diet alone. Yeah?
What's your take